The May 11, 2010 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
President Adair.
Here.
Miss Andrews is excused. Mr. Antelli. Mr. Barker. Mr. Beebe. Mr. Bronson. Mr. Cassetti. Mr. Colby. Mr. Daniele. Mrs. Draw. Mr. Eckel. Mr. Esposito. Mr. Gamble. Mr. Gamina. Mr. Haney. Mr. Hanna. Mr. Hyder. Mr. Howland. Miss Kaylee. Mr. Lee. Mr. Lightfoot. Mr. Monero. Mr. McCann. Mr. O'Brien. Dr. Quattro. Mr. Rockow. Mr. Tucciarello. Mrs. Valerio. Mr. Yolovich.
Please stay seated. I would like to introduce Dr. Val Fowler of the First Presbyterian Church of Honeoye Falls, who's been invited tonight by Legislator John J. Holland.
Thank you for the invitation. And I bring greetings from my congregation and from the Presbytery of Genesee Valley, which I serve as stated clerk. And in leadership in the church, I've learned humbly over the years that there's a fine line between giving occasions to be prayed for and giving occasions to be prayed about. And so I offer this prayer in grace for you. May we pray. Blessed are you, Lord God, King of the universe, God of leader and God of followers, God of individuals and God of the communities they build. I thank you for the talent, skill, intelligence, and passion that is present in this room, in our legislators, and in the young people that I've seen gathering for the proclamations today. Give to these servants of ours all the wisdom, insight, and humility to govern with justice for the common good. May the fruits of their efforts be known by how the most vulnerable among us are cared for. May their efforts be so filled with power, grace, compassion, and integrity that perhaps even those who voted against them and those who will vote against them would be moved to say, thank you that they are leading. And Lord God, nudge these servants of ours to make decisions in such a way that will cause people 50 years from now to be glad that these people were in leadership today. Amen.
Amen. Dr. Fowler. Thank you. Of the Monroe County Legislature.
Oh, thank you.
This person. Thank you.
Oh,
Nice job.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Legislator Richard Yolovich will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Legislator Yolovich. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You have received copies of the Journal of Day 5, April 13, 2010. Without exception, the journal stands approved as submitted. There is a hearing loop in place tonight to assist those who are hearing impaired. Anyone requiring assistance should inquire at the clerk's office. I also have two other announcements I'd like to make tonight. The first one is I'd like to congratulate Legislator Paul Haney for receiving a Presidential Medal for service to the Rochester community from St. John Fisher College. Also, I'd like to draw your attention to up here tonight, and I would like to thank the Parks Department for the presentation of this month's flowers, which is the Rochester Lilacs. Whether you know it or not, I have some fun facts about the lilacs tonight. These are ours. We have 500 different varieties of lilacs that you are all the stewards of. There is 1,200 bushes in Monroe County, and it is considered to be the best varieties of lilacs in the world. Tonight, over here to my right, I have I'm going to get this right. This is the Monique Lemoyne. Say hello. To the bottom over on this side is the Albert Holden, which is a double lilac, and that's that one right there. And the one next to that is the Charles Jolet and Albert Holden. I got them wrong, but they're both right there. So we brought them tonight. I will let you know that I have instituted a new program because our Parks Department does such a great job in horticulture and over at the greenhouse, is that every month now the Parks Department will come in and present to the Rec and Ed Committee the flower of the month, and we will display them here at the Legislature chambers every month until tonight, and you'll be able to see it. Thank you. Cheryl, it's all yours.
If you have a cellular phone, pager, or other electronic device in your possession, we would ask that you silence them for the duration of the meeting. Thank you for your cooperation.
Legislators, the referrals submitted to the legislatures in the next committee cycle are in your folders now. This evening there are several proclamations scheduled. Madam Clerk.
Would the first Team 1511 Rolling Thunder team please come forward? Also, Legislator Daniel Quattro and Debbie Draw.
Just right in front, guys, all the way down. Just don't hit the plants. You can make two lines. Go this way.
Whereas the Penfield Robotics team competes in FIRST Robotics competitions in the local area and throughout the country. FIRST Robotics describes their mission as to transform our culture by creating a world where science and technology are celebrated and where young people dream of becoming science and technology leaders. FIRST conducts many regional competitions throughout the year. Each team is given a common problem to solve during a 6-week period using a limited number of parts. The first team, 1511 Rolling Thunder of Penfield, boldly confronted this challenge. With the help of their partners at RF Harris Communications, Rolling Thunder was able to represent the best of science and technology in Penfield and Monroe County. And whereas in March, the Rolling Thunder competed at RIT, receiving the Engineering Inspiration Award. The team has since traveled to Massachusetts to participate in Boston Regional Robotics Competition. At the regional level, Rolling Thunder showed teams throughout the Northeast that Monroe County is a place which supports innovation and creativity in our schools. After winning the coveted Regional Chairman's Award in Boston, the team traveled to the 2010 First Championship in Atlanta, Georgia. There, the Rolling Thunder was seated 10th out of the 86 teams in their division. And whereas the ingenuity and imagination displayed by this group of young adults is not only impressive but inspiring. These students, along with their mentors, have worked extremely hard to create this robot. Monroe County is a better place because of creative and talented inventors and pioneers who have come before us, and it will continue to be a great place because young people, such as the members of Rolling Thunder, embrace the same value for science and innovation. Now, therefore, we, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, E. Daniel Quattro, Majority Leader, and Debbie Draw, Legislator District 9, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize and congratulate the first Team 1511 Rolling Thunder on being awarded the Engineering Inspiration Award at the First Robotics Competition.
Who's going to accept it?
I just want to say thank you for the recognition for everything. The people here worked very, very hard to get where we are today. Without the support of Harris RF and the Penfield School District, we would not be nearly as successful as what we are today. So we will continue to work hard and hopefully be back here again. So thank you.
You can go right back to the center.
So we have a quick little demonstration here. So I'll bring up my drive
center.
team here. We're actually going to demonstrate this year's robot. This robot's name is Thunderfoot. And the game this year, we had to kick soccer balls into goals on the opposite side of the field. And there's also bumps and other terrain that we had to go over. So it's a pretty complex game. And the robot that you're going to see here today is actually 6 weeks' worth of work, which is not a lot of time if you really think about it. And that comes from the point of actually coming up with a design all the way through build and fabrication. Some features of this robot, if you look at the base there, it's a four-wheel drive robot. There's bumpers on it to protect it from impacts. The front of the robot has a kicker leg, which can actually be variable controlled. There's an electromagnet release on it, and there's a little bar that will actually suck in the ball. Those are our goaltenders over there. And then the top of the robot, even though we don't have the apparatus today to actually demo this, there's a lifting mechanism on top of the robot. So the robot will drive up to a pole, a vertical pole, couple onto that pole, and then flip itself up off of the ground. It's actually pretty impressive. So there's the lifter in action there. So. And it's pretty maneuverable. The back wheels there, they have rollers on them to assist with driving. And now we'll kick. And that's pretty much it. The underglow on the bottom there actually has function to it. Sometimes it's hard to see exactly where the ball is in front of the robot. So one of the engineering solutions we implemented is to put a light underneath the robot that will light up once we've acquired the ball. Would you like to drive it? You sure?
Give him a minute to. Thanks, guys. Okay.
Would retired Major General Norbert J. Rappel please come forward? Also, President Jeffrey Adair and Legislator Ted O'Brien. Is he here? Whereas retired Major General Norbert J. Rappel, born and raised in Rochester, New York, has been a dedicated servant to his community and country his entire life. A 1948 graduate of Aquinas Institute, he enrolled in St. Bonaventure University, where he studied accounting and joined the ROTC. Upon graduating, then Second Lieutenant Rappel served bravely in the Korean War. And whereas, upon returning home, he joined the family business and continued his service to the country by joining the 98th Division U.S. Army Reserve, stationed here in Rochester. Major General Rappel rose through the ranks during his service, eventually becoming the commander of the 98th Division in 1982, where he was in charge of more than 7,500 reservists in 34 locations in New York State until 1987, when he retired from active duty. And whereas the 98th Division of the U.S. Army Reserve was formed in 1918 in Syracuse, New York. During World War II, it was based in Hawaii, but after the war, it was moved to Rochester, where it has remained and flourished under the command of dedicated leaders such as Major General Rappel. A community-based organization, the 98th has always been one of the highest-rated reserve divisions, found to be the most capable in 2004 for the extremely difficult task of being embedded with and training Iraqi security forces. And whereas the 98th Division headquarters was chosen in 2008 as the site of the U.S. Army's first ever virtual installation, which provides family members many of the benefits that can be found on large military bases around the country. Since it began operation, the virtual installation has been very successful, having already served more than 5,000 people and families. And whereas the recipient of countless honors and awards and always an ardent supporter of the region, Major General Rappel, now one of 3 New York State ambassadors to the U.S. Army, has been fighting tirelessly to keep the 98th in Irondequoit. His honorable dedication to service, country, and the Rochester area has had and will continue to have an extraordinary impact on our community. Now, therefore, let it be known that we, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, and Ted O'Brien, Legislator, District 17, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby honor retired Major General Norbert J. Rappel for his years of service to our country, state, and local community.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate this recognition. I appreciate even more the interest that this body has taken at the behest of Maggie Brooks, who has supported this effort in the past, and Ted O'Brien, who is heading the current effort to keep the 98th Division here in Rochester. I first became aware of a movement to move it, of an effort to move it, in 2006, as a result of the 2005 Base Realignment and Closure Act. Congress appropriated considerable sums of money to complete that effort to close installations and realign them. As part of that, the Army Reserve developed a far-reaching plan of reorganization and restationing. Since 2005, things have changed. There may have been a reason to move the 98th back in 2006. There is not today. But the staff of the Army Reserve insists on trying to complete this restationing plan. I am aghast at their cavalier attitude toward congressional communications. I'm aghast at how they respond to congressional inquiries with half-truths. Their first response was, well, this is part of BRAC in Congress, that's what you told us to do, and that's what we're doing. So we had to respond, no, that's not right. The move of the 98th was not dictated by BRAC. There's no reason to do it. Their next response was, well, it's security. We got to keep it in a secure, move it to a secure place. And our response to that was, you've just spent tens of thousands of dollars putting fences around the building. And if it needs even more security, then move it to Niagara Falls or move it to Fort Drum, but don't take it out of New York. Well, that was dropped too. Their next response was, well, just because we're going to move the division doesn't mean that the building is going to close. But the 99th Reserve Command, which owns all the facilities in the Northeast, has stated that when the 98th moves, that building will be closed. Now, at the present time, the Army is planning to spend $3 million down at Fort Benning for an addition to a building to house the 98th Division headquarters. At the same time, they are spending $3.5 million rehabilitating the building down on Goodman Street, the Wadsworth Reserve Center. One hand doesn't know what the other hand's doing. There will be an article in tomorrow morning's paper saying that another unit is coming into Rochester. That, I'm sure, is a response to Senator Schumer's letters. There is a plan for another unit to come to Monroe County, but to be housed in another building, location not yet determined. At the same time, the Chief of Army Reserve has said there is no move to backfill the 98th Division at this time. Even if they do move another unit in here, the rank structure in the division is unique. And for our people who want to serve in the reserves and make a career of it, there will be no upward movement. They will reach a certain level and then they'll be put out of a position. So it's very important that the 98th Division headquarters stay here. There's no military reason to move it. It has done its job superbly for decades, and it continues to do it. One of the other answers to Schumer was, well, you know, we're not waiting for the Russians to come through the Fulda Gap anymore, so we got to have new units. Well, it's true, but the division has evolved over the years as the whole Army has. In fact, it evolved so much that in 2004, as was stated in the proclamation, it was selected from among the 13 training divisions to start a training center in Iraq. There, instead of setting up a training center, they initiated what is called the military transition team, in which they broke up into 10 soldier teams and embedded themselves with Iraqi combat battalions, going out on combat missions, training and mentoring the Iraqis. Sadly, 5 men were killed during that operation, and they are memorialized out at the airport. That was so successful that the succeeding 2 training divisions continued that operation, and today the active Army has devoted a brigade at Fort Riley to train active soldiers in that method of operation. So the division has evolved. It's doing its mission from here. There's no need to move it to Fort Benning. If there is a reason to move it, one of the other excuses was we want it to be where it's training soldiers. Well, the headquarters doesn't train soldiers. The brigades do. The division has 4 brigades, and they're aligned with Forts Jackson, Leonard Wood, Knox, and Benning. And if you want them to be close to where they're training, then move them. But the division headquarters doesn't really train people. It commands and controls them. So there's no military reason to do it. There's a good financial reason not to do it. And from where we stand, the County of Monroe, City of Rochester, it's about jobs. It's about the economic impact that that building and the people in it have on this community. So I thank you very much for this recognition, and I am looking forward to your resolution requesting that the Army keep the 98th Division headquarters here. Thank you so much.
Would the Eastridge High School robotics team please come forward? Also, President Jeffrey R. Adair, Legislator Ted O'Brien, Vincent Esposito, and C. Stephen Eckel. whereas for inspiration and recognition of science and technology, First Robotics Competition designs programs to encourage young people to seek science, math, and engineering careers and life skills in order to transform our culture by creating a world where science and technology are celebrated and where young people dream of becoming science and technology heroes. And whereas for the Eastridge Robotics team, their rookie 2010 season has set the standard for future robotics teams. And whereas the Eastridge Robotics team for the first time competed in the Finger Lakes Regional First Robotics Competition held at RIT this past March, finishing the event third out of 44 competing teams with one of the highest scorings achieved by a rookie team. The Eastridge Robotics team was also recognized as the Rookie All-Star team of the competition. And whereas, given their success in their first regional event, the Eastridge Robotics team was invited to compete at the National First Robotics Championship competition in Atlanta, Georgia, this past April. With the support of their sponsor, Bausch & Lomb, Cooper Vision, Cross Brothers Company, and their many mentors, the 30-member East Ridge Robotics team has demonstrated their innovation, focus, and determination and have become local science and technology heroes. And whereas it is with distinction and admiration that we recognize the East Ridge Robotics team and wish them success in future endeavors. Now, therefore, let it be known that we, Jeffrey R. Adair, President, and Ted O'Brien, Legislator District 17, Vincent J. Esposito, Legislator District 16, and C. Stephen Eckel, Legislator District 26, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby honor the East Ridge High School Robotics team for their exemplary rookie first season.
Thank you. On behalf of the East Ridge Robotics team, we'd like to thank the county legislation and all of you for this recognition. Unfortunately, we did not bring our robot. We literally just uncrated it about an hour and a half ago, and we're assessing how careful FedEx was with it. As a rookie team, our goal was to try to get our school community together. Our team is composed of 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, science, math, and technology teachers. Our goal was to try to create a team that emphasized more on academics and competition. You know, let's face it, we kind of live in a world where sports has been the emphasis lately, and you can only go so far with that. So First Robotics is really a way that these kids can have the opportunity to apply what they've learned in their science and their math classes and really apply that to a real-world application in a competition. For any of you that have not been to a First Robotics competition, I invite you all, second weekend in March, to the RIT Gordon Fieldhouse to experience this for yourselves. Thank you very much.
Cheryl, where are we now? For the public hearings? No, we don't do public yet?
Not public forum yet.
Okay. We will now recess for the purpose of holding 7 public hearings. I declare open the public hearing on a resolution intro number 96 of 2010 entitled Improving Increase and Improvements of the Facilities in the Rochester Pure Water District, Frank E. Van Laird, Electrical System Improvement.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I now declare the public hearing on resolution intro number 99 of 2010 entitled Improvement on Increased Improvement in the Facilities of the Rochester Pure Waters District, Frank E. Van Laird, Aeration System Improvements.
There are no public speakers registered for this hearing.
I declare this public hearing now closed. I declare opening now the public hearing on resolution intro number 102 of 2010 entitled Improving Increased and Improvements to the Facility of the Irondequoit Bay South Central Pure Waters District Brighton number 5 Pump Station Improvements.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare the opening of the public hearing on resolution intro number 105 of 2010 entitled Improving Increased Improvements of Facilities in the Irondequoit Bay South Central Pure Waters District General Pump Station and Interceptor Improvements.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing of resolution intro number 108 of 2010 entitled Improving Increased and Improvements of Facilities in the Northwest Quadrant Pure Waters District Northwest Quadrant Secondary Clarification Improvements.
There are no speakers for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing closed. I declare open the public hearing on resolution intro number 111 of 2010 entitled Improving Increase and Improvements to the Facilities of the Gates Charlie Ogden Sewer District Trolley Pump Station Improvements.
There are no speakers registered for this hearing.
There being none, I declare this public hearing now closed. I declare open the public hearing on resolution intro number 114 of 2010 entitled Improving Increase and Improvements of Facilities in the Gates Ogden Sewer District General Collection System Improvement.
And there are no speakers registered for this hearing.
Okay, there being none, I declare this public hearing closed and convene the May 2010 meeting of the legislature back in session. There are no formal committees reported for this evening. We'll now hold a public forum. I have several people registered to address the legislature. Mrs. Rozzi.
A deputy will assist you in approaching the lectern. Please use the center aisle and come forward when your name is called. You will have 2 minutes and only 2 minutes in which to address the legislature. Please conclude when the timer sounds and exit through the back of the chambers. Thank you. Our first speaker will be Alan Iselhard. Thank you.
Good evening. I represent the Great Lakes Concerned Citizens Group, and we recently delivered an envelope of information to each Monroe County legislator regarding the offshore wind turbine issue, otherwise known as the GLOW project, Great Lakes Offshore Wind. As I speak, the New York Power Authority is desperately trying to find a developer to install a GLOW wind facility 2.3 miles offshore from New York State in either Lake Ontario or Lake Erie or possibly both. Although the exact wind facility locations are unknown at this time, there is the potential for the facility to be situated offshore from Monroe County, and NYPA's maps clearly depict this potential location. Should this appalling action take place, it would be the beginning of industrializing and the trashing of our wonderful natural resource. The many negatives such a project would bring are listed in the information package each legislator received. The head of the New York Power Authority, Richard Kessel, has stated repeatedly that the GLOW project would not be located where it is unwanted. There is almost zero benefit to Monroe County should this offshore wind project be constructed here. Since March 2010, Jefferson County, Oswego County, Wayne County, and Chautauqua County legislators voted overwhelmingly against the GLOW project. Lakeshore residents and property owners from Rochester and 4 Monroe County towns could become GLOW victims and have the quality of their life negatively affected forever should the GLOW project move forward. We believe the Monroe County legislature should study the GLOW project, and once it is understood, we feel the Monroe County legislators will come to the same conclusion as other New York State legislators have already voted against the GLOW project. We believe the Monroe County legislature should overwhelmingly vote no on the GLOW project as soon as possible and send the unwanted message to the New York Power Authority. In closing, may I ask what action the Monroe County legislature will be taking in this matter?
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Hank Washburn. Please come forward.
also come here to speak against the proposed wind farms on Lake Ontario in Monroe County. I am here as a concerned citizen to address both the environmental issues as well as the fiscal viability of the project. First, does anyone believe that the migratory birds won't be impacted? We are in a major migratory flyway. Secondly, fish and other aquatic critters will be severely harmed. There is no way that that cannot happen. There has to be major blasting and pollution due to and from construction. Also, each turbine requires 130 gallons of oil that has to be changed on a regular basis. Are we to believe that none of this oil will ever be spilled? To me, the most important fact is that no wind farm in the U.S. stands alone. Every last one is subsidized by local, state, and federal government dollars, our tax dollars. Do we need to spend more money foolishly? I think not. Counties to the east of us, Wayne, Cayuga, Oswego, and Jefferson County legislators have all voted against the plan. The NIPA scheme, to me, is the Hyatt, Midtown, Emerson Street recycle plan. I don't know if anybody remembers that. And the Fast Ferry all rolled into one and on steroids. All one has to do is visit Tug Hill or Wolf Island at the mouth of the St. Lawrence or Steuben County near Springwater and Cohocton to see the visual pollution. We are all familiar with the wind turbine at Harbeck Plastics on Route 104 at County Line. That turbine is 160 feet high. The proposed turbines for Lake Ontario are 450 feet high, and they are a blight on the horizon for miles. There's a boatload of inefficiencies in wind turbine technology that I could list, but my time is limited here to the present prescribed time limits. I strongly urge you to research NIPA and Ritchie Castle and vote to stop this insanity.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Grace Miller.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Not too long ago, I went to the Department of Social Services at St. Paul Street, and I was shocked. I found 3 large TV screens, not one, but 3, facing us, all on military recruitment. Since when has the Department of Human Services gotten into military recruiting? We don't find these screens at doctors' offices or other agencies in the suburbs, do we? So why are they sitting there at the Department of Social Services where poor people come? I was told it's a way of getting jobs. Well, people are forced into the job search and they can't get jobs. So now I guess welfare is admitting there are no jobs for the poor, so therefore send them off to the Army, to Iraq, to Afghanistan. For what purpose? To get killed? How many of you want your sons and daughters going to Iraq and Afghanistan? It's an affront to our poor, and we are upset about it. There are other messages that you could put on these screens. Something educational, showing people how to get jobs, how to fill out applications. There are a lot of other things you can do, but military recruitment, at the welfare office, there's only one message. Get them out of our office and get them jobs in the military, and they will get killed. That's the message that's being conveyed. We are upset about it, and we want to see those TV screens come down. Otherwise, put them in all the offices in the whole of Monroe County, because it's unfair to have them just at the welfare office where the poor gather and are there trying and struggling to survive. We have plans. If you don't get them down, we have plans. So we're hoping you will get them out of the office, out of that office on St. Paul Street. And if you're going to use the TV screens, put up something educational, not military. It's the wrong place for them, and it's a terrible affront.
Our next speaker will be Mac McGonigal.
I'm here to talk about the cultural authorized agencies portion of the Monroe County hotel tax distribution. I'll read from the letter here, and it's to the legislature. As you know, the Monroe County hotel tax revenue is distributed to those agencies and organizations that contribute to making Rochester and Monroe County a desirable place to visit. These agencies, organizations jointly help create this type of environment. The majority of the $6.5 million goes to Greater Rochester Visitors Association, Blue Cross Arena, the sports agencies. There's some set aside for tourism, and the cultural agencies that are less than $1 million. That leaves, out of the $6.5 million, that leaves approximately about $1.195 million for those cultural agencies that are over $1 million in budget. And that's consistently been distributed to this group for at least the last 5 or 6 years by Monroe County. It has also been at least that long that both the county government and the county legislature have agreed on the performance measurement of attendance for this group as stated in each of the budget years. The problem arises relative to the distribution amounts not being reflective of the performance measurement agreed to and published in the county budget document. At the extreme end of the distribution is Rochester Museum and Science Center, who has an attendance of 37% of the group, but receives 74% of the money, and which is $900,000. At the other end of the distribution is Jiva Theater, which has 11% attendance, but only receives 1% of the money. So essentially, the museum gets 60 times the amount of money Jiva gets, although they only have 4 times the attendance. The other agencies in this group also shorted are the Memorial Art Gallery, the George Eastman Museum, Genesee Country Museum, WXXI, and the Rochester Philharmonic. Guess I'm out. I thought I could get it in. All right. I have some charts attached also with the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Jackie Farrell.
Good evening. I'm Jackie Farrell, and I'm here from the West Side Farmers Market, but I'm representing most of the markets in Monroe County. Of all days, my newspaper carrier forgot me this morning, but I made the paper. We're here tonight to encourage you to adopt our proposal to adjust the fees for food vendors at the farmers markets. At this time, the cost is prohibitive and the process cumbersome. We appreciate the fact that the legislative body is listening to us, and we thank you for keeping this matter alive. We have given the members of the Human Services Committee copies of more than 100 letters of support from all over the county. These letters represent more than 20 zip codes in Monroe County. We've also given you information on the fees and the application process from other counties in New York State. We're happy to assist you in other ways if necessary in order to draw a conclusion to our request. I think you know that we are persistent, but that is only because we believe that we are moving in the right direction. This simple change will help small businesses, farmers, food vendors, markets, and neighborhoods. It will be a great community builder. We urge speed on this issue as the market season is upon us. Once again, thank you for listening and for keeping this matter alive.
Our next speaker is Michael Warren Thomas.
Thank you very much. I wish I had a robot to bring with me. It'd be far more impressive. I'm here as representing the West Side Farmers Market as well, and thanks to Dan Quattro, Willie Lightfoot, and some of the other legislators, Anthony Daniele, for helping to try and move this forward. It affects thousands of people who come to the farmers markets, who after work come do some shopping and could eat and enjoy dinner there. Other counties have been able to make this happen. Apparently, some of those counties, maybe not quite the correct way. Monroe County is going to try and do it the right way, but we need this to happen quickly because market season starts in June generally. A few markets are already open. Fairport and Pittsford opened in May, the start of May. So if there's a way to make this happen by next month, that'll allow businesses to start come in and serve food at these markets and build those communities. So if there's a way to make this happen as fast as possible, we would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is John Curran.
Good evening. I too am speaking on behalf of the West Side Farmers Market. I wish to echo the sentiments of the previous speakers in terms of thanking the legislative members for their efforts to move this forward and to take it seriously. We do ask that you move ahead, we can get this done so that we can attend to other issues such as helping to get additional people to come to our market. In today's newspaper, there's efforts on other markets to get seniors from senior centers to come to our programs. We've been held back because of this technicality at the present, so please do work on this matter and help us to get our vendors back again. Thank you again.
Thank you. And our last speaker is Tom Gregory. Please come forward through the center.
I was drawn to the words of the minister who opened up with a prayer saying, "Blessed art thou, Lord, creator of the universe," in another language. That would sound, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. That's Hebrew for the same. And it seems that this God, if we choose to believe in or not, it doesn't make a difference really, I guess, when it comes to our disposition as a county as to what we're going to do to develop these resources, be they supernaturally made or naturally made. God gives us wind, beautiful wind. I've been out to Wyoming when I went out to fight forest fires out in Boise, Idaho, and I saw the wind farms. And I'll tell you what, maybe from the eyes of a purist, I don't like these things rotating up in the air. But from the eyes of a person who sees technology and a deficit, which we know in New York State is going to be a 25% power deficit by the year 2024, wind power seems like a very good alternative and a good approach. Especially when I see my county legislature, or the county legislature celebrate young men and women who've chosen to go in a route of technology, develop their ways along that direction, and I say, gosh, if I have a windmill out there, guess what? I have a job for them to perform. I'm meeting a need for the state, but I'm also meeting a need for development of human capital. And I think for us to even think about rejecting these opportunities that we're given. We have another great opportunity. We're actually before you right now, Van Laer Sewer Treatment Plant. The minister who prayed said 50 years from now he hopes that this legislature is remembered for what it did today. Well, I built Van Laer, not by myself. Actually, I contributed just a little part. And that's 38 years ago. And we right now in this county have one of the very best sewage treatment facilities in the world. What MCC is to education, Van Laer is to sewage treatment. And for those of you who know the history of this area, you know that George Rafter, who wrote the Bible on sewage treatment, is a man who basically had that vision of tertiary, primary, secondary treatment. So I would say let's not turn our back on the opportunities that this God has given us. Let's develop the resources we have, and let's not turn our back on the future. Thank you.
This concludes the public forum.
At this time, we'll recess the May 11th, 2010 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature for the purpose of convening the Pure Waters Administration Board of the Gates, Chili, Ogden Sewer District. The clerk will please note the attendance and read the item on the agenda.
PWAB item number 1, referral 10-138.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion? Seeing there is no discussion, all in favor indicate by saying aye. All opposed? Item carries. We will now recess the Gates Charlie Ogden Sewer District and adjourn the Pure Waters Administration Board. The May 11, 2010 meeting of the Legislature will now reconvene. We will proceed with the considerations of motions, resolutions, and notices. Will the clerk please read the first item on the agenda? Mrs. Rossi.
Item number 1, referral 10-98, providing that
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele, to be lifted from the table. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 2, referral 10-98, providing that resolution intro.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? All opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 3, referral 10-98BR, resolution authorizing the issuance.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 4, referral 10-100, providing that resolution intro.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele, to be lifted from the table. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 5, referral 10-100, providing that resolution intro number 99.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 6, referral 10-100BR, resolution authorizing the issuance of.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 7, referral 10-102, providing that resolution intro number.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is to lift it from the table. All in favor? All opposed? Item carries.
Item number 8, referral 10-102, providing that resolution intro number.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 9, referral 10-102BR, resolution authorizing the.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries.
Item number 10, referral 10-104, providing that resolution.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele, to be lifted from the table. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries.
Item number 11, referral 10-104, providing that resolution.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 12, referral 10-104BR, resolution authorizing.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? All opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 13, referral 10-106, providing that resolution.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is to be lifted from the table. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 14, referral 10-106, providing that resolution.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 15, referral 10-106BR.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 16, referral 10-108, providing that resolution.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele, to be lifted from the table. All in favor? Opposed? Next item carries. Next item.
Item number 17, referral 10-108.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 18, referral 10-108BR.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 19, referral 10-110, providing that.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele, to be lifted from the table. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 20, referral 10-110.
Moved by legislator Cassetti, second by legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 21, referral 10-110. BR.
Moved by legislator Cassetti, second by legislator Daniele. This is a motion to adopt. All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. Very well done, gentlemen.
Item number 22.
Next item.
Item number 22, referral 10-124, confirmation of appointment.
Moved by legislator Howland, second by Vice President Barker. Any discussion on the floor? Seeing there's no discussion, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries.
Item number 23, referral 10-129, authorizing.
Moved by legislator Howland, second by legislator Hanna. Is there any discussion at this time? Legislator Haney.
Thank you, Mr. President. I certainly don't object to the intent of this. Unity Hospital certainly is a good and noble institution. My question is more on the financing. As I understand what the Planning and Economic Development Committee was told, the fees that will be paid on this to the Monroe County Industrial Development Corporation are 1% of the first $20 million and 1/4% of everything over $20 million. Is that correct?
Through the President, that is correct.
If my math is correct, does that mean that the fees paid to the Monroe County Industrial Development Corporation will be about $750,000?
Through the President, that is correct, with 1/3 of the fee going to the attorney.
I'm sorry, what was the last?
1/3 of the fee will be paid to the attorney.
And who is the attorney?
The attorney for MCIDC is Harris Beach.
So Harris Beach, and I assume that means Mr. Townsend, will get $250,000 out of this deal?
Through the President, Harris Beach will receive that fee.
Well, I realize that, but the attorney of record is Mr. Townsend, right?
Through the President, that is correct.
Yes. Now, do I recall someplace that in addition to the percentage fees that Unity had agreed to directly pay the attorney's fee? Am I erroneous in that?
Through the President, that is incorrect.
Okay. So what Monroe County Industrial Development Corporation will net is $500,000. Is that correct?
Through the President, that is correct.
Yes. Now, am I also correct in recalling that from items that were adopted here 2, 3, maybe 4 months ago, that MCIDC contributes just $25,000 or pays just $25,000 a year to the county?
Through the President, that is correct.
My question is, and this is just one bond deal, it's I think the second or third we've approved this year for MCIDC, and because of the moratorium on the IDA doing these deals, I assume there's going to be a great many more. If MCIDC is collecting all these fees, as I say, $500,000 on this one alone, why doesn't MCIDC pay the County of Monroe more than just a measly $25,000?
Through the President, the funds will be used for programs to help businesses create jobs and invest in equipment in the community and buildings.
Well, could MCIDC make a larger contribution to the county?
Through the President, the staff services are covered by the $25,000.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Through the President, the staff services are covered by the amount contributed to the county.
Well, I realize that somebody presumably has said the expenses are covered, but is there anything that prevents MCIDC from making a contribution of additional money to the County of Monroe?
Through the President, we would rather use the funds for businesses that are creating and retaining jobs in the community.
Well, that may be. My question remains, is there anything that prevents the corporation from making a contribution in excess of $25,000 to the County of Monroe?
Through the President, no.
I'll vote for this, Mr. President, because certainly the expansion and renovation of Park Ridge Hospital, of the Unity Health System, is a good and noble purpose. The reason I go through this line of questioning, however, is to draw the legislature's attention to the fact in these times when presumably our finances are in perilous shape, and we're always talking about, and we know that both last year and this year we've balanced our budget only because of huge special payments under the National Recovery Act, the Economic Recovery Act, that this is one of the places, if we were serious about solving the county's financial problems, where we could look incrementally for help in solving those problems.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion at this time? Legislator Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to follow up Mr. Haney's questioning for some clarification. I know we went through a number of these questions at the Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting, to which Mr. Haney is not a member. So through the administration, through you, Mr. President, to the administration, when we went through this Planning and Economic Development, I thought you said that if a bond issuance is over a certain amount, that attorney's fees are paid directly by the entity receiving them. Is that correct?
Through the President, if the bond issuance is over $50 million, the fee that is charged includes the attorney's fee. So the fee that Mr. Haney was referring to, the $700,000, we don't take that whole fee. A third of it is paid to the attorney.
I see. So it's not an additional expense of the entity receiving the money. It's computed into the total amount.
Through the President, that is correct.
And through you, Mr. President, to the administration, is the attorney's fee always a third of what the entire amount would be gained by the IDC?
Through the President, on bond issuance under $50 million, there is a separate fee that is paid by the company. So there's a 1% fee. Take that, divide it by 3, and then an additional amount is paid by the business.
Okay, so it's a formula determined on each deal for how much the attorney's fees would be.
Through the President, depending on the amount of the bond issuance.
I understand. Thank you very much for the clarification.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion at this time? Seeing there is no discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 24, referral 10-130, accepting grant from.
Moved by Legislator Hannah, second by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing there is no discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries.
Item number 25, referral 10-131, confirmation.
Moved by Legislator Yolovich, second by Legislator Howland. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing there is no discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries.
Item number 26, referral 10-132.
Moved by Legislator Valerio, second by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion at this time? Legislator Marino.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a quick question through you, Mr. President, to the administration. Is this a standard agreement that we have with companies that operate concessions at county facilities?
Through you, Mr. President, this was the these are the terms that were negotiated with this concession 15 years ago. This is merely an extension of that 15-year-old agreement so that we can get by this boating season while we do an RFP and issue a new 15-year agreement in the fall.
Through you again, Mr. President, is it in line with other vendors, or just to get an idea?
Through you, Mr. President, it's generally in line with other concessions.
Thank you.
Each concession is unique.
All set? Okay. Is there any other discussion at this time? Seeing there is none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Item carries.
Item number 27, referral 10-133, authorizing contract.
Moved by Legislator Valerio, second by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing there is no discussion, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries.
Item number 28, referral 10-134, amending resolution.
Moved by Legislator Antelli, second by Legislators Valerio and Daniele. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing there is no discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries.
Item number 29, referral 10-135.
Moved by Legislator Draw, second by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing there is no discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries.
Item number 30, referral 10-136.
Moved by Legislator Draw, second by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing there's no discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries.
Item number 31, referral 10-137, authorizing contracts with Crane.
Moved by Legislator Cassetti, second by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing that there is no discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Item carries.
Item number 32, referral 10-139, authorizing advertisement for bids.
Moved by Legislator Colby, second by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion at this time? Seeing that there is no discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Item carries. Is there any unfinished business to come before this body tonight? Legislator Haney.
Mr. President, I'd like to make an inquiry. Under the Public Authorities Accountability Act passed in 2004, all local public authorities and local development corporations are supposed to have filed with your office and with the clerk of the legislature their financial statements for the year 2009 by March 31st of this year, which was over a month ago. I know the Water Authority filed their financial statements. My question is, have the other local, I've not seen them or seen them show up on the read and file list. Have the other authorities and local development corporations filed their financial statements as required by law?
Through the President, yes, they have. All local development corporations have filed their statements as required by the Public Authority Act.
And they're filed in the legislature clerk's office?
Through the President, I believe, remembering from the letters that I've received, they're provided to the county executive, to myself, and to the President of the Legislature.
I believe they're supposed to be filed with the clerk of the legislature, and in each prior year they've been filed with the clerk of the legislature. Is there any reason why they haven't been filed with the clerk of the legislature this year?
Through the President, I don't believe that they need to be filed with the Clerk of the Legislature. They've been given to the President of the Legislature, and I think that's a requirement under the Act. They can be provided to the Clerk of the Legislature for your review.
Then my question becomes, will they be filed with the Clerk of the Legislature, or do we have to file a lot of Freedom of Information requests?
Through the President, we can provide those.
Thank you. I'd appreciate receiving them as soon as possible.
Okay. Is there any other finished by, none tonight? Okay. There is no more unfinished business tonight. Dr. Quattro.
Mr. President, I move that this honorable body stand adjourned until Tuesday, June 8th, 2010 at 6 p.m.